This is FightFans Radio.
What is going on, everybody out there in the Ethernet land? We are live. This is BJJ Addict Radio. I'm the host, Realty Dub C. Vic, the other host,
Jerwell.
P?
P.
Does the P stand for player?
P stands for passing guard.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, what's popping? How was your day?
It's good.
Yeah.
Finally off work
Mm-hmm.
got to focus on doing some, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and?
So it was fun, when, what do you call it? When you don't have to work and just focus on your training.
Can you imagine a life with no work?
But then again, if you go to do jiu-jitsu, I find it's like a part-time job.
Pretty much.
If you're not working, you're off training, so... I find it work, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, I try to make it as, depends what zone. There's times where it feels like I'm going to work, but, overall, it's to get away from, all life's problems, You step on the mat and kind of forget everything for that hour and a half or whatnot. So, yeah, I try not to associate it as work, but, there's times where you still stress even though you're on it. What's the next holiday season coming up?
Holiday season?
January, February? Is it Easter coming up, or is that April?
I think it's Easter, no? Oh, that's
February,
April.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I don't think we could do a Valentine's Day profile pic, because we got the Christmas. I was thinking we should keep it up for should we do
different seasons?
Should we do maybe one with hearts and shit, you and me?
I think so.
Alright. Box of chocolates.
Cupid. What else is there?
Associated with love? Like roses?
Bed.
Rose petals?
Bed.
Well, we could do it on mat instead, maybe.
Or we could find a heart-shaped bed.
Ooh. Sure, there's some cheap hotels around that still have some heart-shaped, even hot tubs, perhaps.
All right, let's do it. And
and then we'll do one for, a pic with us for, Happy Easter, brought to you by the BJJ Addict.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah? Let's try it out.
Let's do it.
January, there's no holiday, really, other than, it was New Year's, but...
Yeah.
So today we have a guest on, Mr. Brandon Quick. I believe he's a leg lock specialist, and by believe, I mean I know he is. And we'll talk about some good things with him. Next week, we actually have... Tell the people who the next week's guest is also.
Next week, we have an individual by the name of Bruno Amara. He represents BTT Boston.
That's right. I believe he's a third-degree black belt or something like that. Yeah. He's up there. So, been in the game a long time to have that many degrees. So, it'd be cool to talk to someone who's been involved in sport a long time. Just some updates. We're going to push back the Raging giveaway. Not this episode. We'll do it another one. We're just going to work out some few details and make it bigger than it was originally going to be. So, it's a good thing that we're pushing it back. And... also, all the big social media people out there, follow us on our YouTube, our Twitters, our Facebooks. Go subscribe, actually, on our YouTube channel, please. BJJ Radio,
yes.
BJJ TV, FightFans Radio. This year is going to be huge. We haven't started much yet. This is just not even the tip of the iceberg. We're, not even started yet. So, I'm planning for a huge year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm, sorry for my monotone voice today. I'm actually kind of sick right now. All day was a sick day, a personal day. So,
yeah.
a lot of pill popping, syrup sipping, cough syrup. That is. Yeah. So Jared, tell me what your plans are for this week. What's left for you?
Oh man, training. I'm trying to train every day this week.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you're hyper focused on?
A lot of wrestling, actually. I don't know if you noticed, but I wasn't here. I didn't train at all last week.
Yeah,
I don't think. I was kind of in a wrestling a training camp,
Yeah, I actually could tell because your grip strength all of a sudden like doubled.
Yeah.
I didn't know where. Like me and Jared grappled yesterday, and his grip strength was incredible. Like it felt supernatural, so that was cool.
Yeah, I tried to, man, like wrestlers are really annoying with, I think, their grip.
Yeah,
Which is good, which is always good when you cross train. Like I know a lot of people don't like wrestling or judo just because it's not jiu-jitsu. People would rather do BJJ.
yeah.
But I think that's the thing. You gotta find where your weaknesses are.
Mm-hmm.
People. I think cross training has made me a better grappler. I think made my jiu-jitsu a lot.
Well, the
better.
one thing you can't deny about wrestlers is their tenacity and intensity. So
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts.
yeah. So
Aggressive.
plus, I was watching like Marcelo Garcia and like his grip strength apparently is like steel. Or like Jake said in our episode, is that what was it? Gorilla like?
Yeah.
So if you haven't listened to that one, it's on iTunes. So also download it and rate it and stuff.
There we go.
Oh,
Plug
yeah.
it in when you're at it. I like that. Yeah, so that's awesome, man. What was I going to say about the
Competitions and stuff.
coming up this Sunday? I'm starting to get sick, but I think I'm still going to follow through with going to the Montreal Grappling, which we've talked about before. It's a great tournament. And I was going to say this week for me, I was focusing on I was trying to take a page out of the, believe it or not, it's weird because Henner and, I know I always say Ryron, like he's a Rastafarian or something, but those Gracie brothers, man, it's weird because I come in with a chip on my block and those dudes are corny and you know what I mean? It's weird. I really like what they're promoting.
Oh yeah.
I love what they're saying. So it's weird. At first, I had this disdain about them that they're just trying to
market.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird thing. I don't even know why. But the more I watch them and listen to them, they have nothing but good intentions.
No, yeah.
Nothing. They seem like some really good guys.
Just like BJJ.
Yeah, man. And they put a lot of pressure on themselves because of what they do. They have to follow those principles and live quite the lifestyle, because everyone's watching them. Everyone's waiting for them to fuck up so they could chew their heads off, probably.
Yeah.
And I don't think they will, to be honest. They seem like it's not going to happen. So I've been watching a lot of their videos and listening to what they're saying. And of course, Keep It Playful is the one Ryron really promoting. And let me tell you right now, man, I tried my best to put myself in some bad spots so I could be comfortable and accept being tapped out and let my ego go.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, 10, 15 years from now, no one's going to give a shit who tapped me out, who I tapped out, who I beat, who beat me. None of that matters at the end of the day. So I'm really feeling that movement. As much as I want to win some tournaments, I still want to embody that type of that energy. I feel like it's very important.
Man, I want to start competing. It's been way too long, dude.
Yeah.
So,
do you agree with what they're saying though? Do you feel like you're leaving your ego at the door is harder than there's some people that will go around and they will brag that they tapped you out.
Personally,
that bothers me. But at the same time, should I care?
Personally, no. Like, everybody at the gym knows who we are. Like when I need to, like, there are certain days where I'm like, all right, I don't care. But, I don't have anything to prove. People know how I move. And, if I get submitted trying to do something, I don't think doesn't really matter.
Yeah. But that's ego, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm not very egotistical, but, I do have a lot of passion for, what I know.
Yeah.
Right? But, no, I find keeping it playful, because that's how I learn, is just play around.
Yeah.
Because there's two different types of, like, movement, I find. Like, if I play, very loose,
yeah,
that's one style. If I play hard, I don't move the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not fluid, so...
So you're saying you have no problem if a a person, you give them positions and they actually tap you.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I did it today.
Yeah.
Just, it's to help our school.
Yeah.
And develop jiu-jitsu for our school,
Mm-hmm.
And like, you want to see some of these members, like, you see when it clicks. Oh, okay. As opposed to just keeping it like smashing them repeatedly.
Yeah,
it doesn't really help anybody.
That's a good point.
So unless I'm going with like the same belts as me,
yeah,
I usually go based on how hard they're going.
Yeah,
and if I feel like they want to do like a competition kind of role, then I'm gonna turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
Like Doug, Doug.
Yeah.
GG shoes.
Yeah.
Me and Doug go light, but when we could have heavy rolls. I haven't, gone with him since he was a blue belt, but
ooh, times have changed.
Calling you live, Dougie.
He'll probably listen to this later on and laugh about your call out over the air. But I talked to him a lot too, and he really. Me and him, we constantly have discussions about that too, about the bounce, right? And I don't know if I'm getting older and softer. I'm not sure, but I don't have that passion to just go out and kill anyone no more.
Yeah,
it's gone. So I'm on the play it, keep it playful bandwagon.
Yeah,
but I don't feel like jumping off. So maybe it's not a bandwagon. I'm on that movement. That's what I should say. Yeah. I promote it. And so if anyone's listening, send me out a patch. I'll rock it on my gi for free. Yeah, I might have to go cop one of those patches. I think it's a cool site. Yeah. Have you been to the website, by the way?
No, I haven't.
So I'm just promoting it. First of all, I'll promote my own shit first. FightFansRadio.com and BJJ.tv.com. And now we'll go over to keepplayful.com. Check it out. Yeah, I mean, like, that's where I really was reading some of the stuff he's writing. And, man, it was cool. Like, he was having an interview with himself, but, like, with the website. Like, it was kind of cool how he came off. Like, he was asking questions that other people would ask, like, like, what is that? Or, like, oh, so this is, and he was really, it was really well thought out. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
And I think also too, like with keeping it playful, like you're pretty much flow rolling kind of.
Yeah.
So I think flow rolling is where it's like katas for like karate and stuff like that, So I think that's, I think definitely like flow rolling. Like
I'm pumped to see personally if he does another Metamoris fight. Yeah. I know people hate on it, but like, end of the day, like, go out and fucking go sub him then.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Are you ready to talk to our special guest here?
Let's do it.
All right. Siri, can you please call Mr. Quick?
I don't really like having an iPhone Siri because, I'm not really good with women.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Team Trinity?
Hello, may we speak to Mr. Brendan Quick, please?
Yes, hold on.
I didn't talk there. I let you do the talking because she was a woman.
You instantly started sweating when you heard her voice. If you could have hung up, you would have.
Heart's palpitating.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I can hardly hear you.
Well, I don't know why. You are live on the air, BJJ Addict Radio.
Hey, how's it going? Let me check the volume real quick, okay?
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it was my fault.
No, it's always our fault.
Yo, so how you guys doing? I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, of course. Like, it's so weird. I believe we spoke earlier, and I was telling you, me and Jared here, that's the other host, we're flipping through a jiu-jitsu magazine, and there you were, and then we're having you on the next week. It was kind of funny, like, how that happened. So,
sorry, say that one more time?
You were in the magazine that we were looking at?
Oh, yeah. That's, I know, it was a coincidence. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so you're very famous for leg locks, and how did this all come about, you attacking the legs? Because it's not the most popular thing in jiu-jitsu.
Well, the first the first thing that I really was into for sure was the head and arm chokes.
Okay.
And that's that's about the time I made the Fade to Black DVD. And then I got a little bit more popularity, I guess, for teaching leg locks. It's, for me, I in reality, it's just preference. Okay. And, some people like to go there and some don't, and I've been through a lot of trips in my own jiu-jitsu journey, grappling and martial arts. I mean, not just jiu-jitsu. I've trained other martial arts. And so, it's a preference, and it's something that everything comes to somebody naturally. I mean, every grappler that has a game has that game because they gravitate to it in some way. And I just gravitate towards leg locks. And, I like them, and I've trained them, and they just fit into my game nicely. So I would say that's the best way to describe how it came about is just a natural gravitation to it.
That's nice. Do you think everyone should have that in their game, considering that it is half the body exactly?
Well, I mean, everyone says that, and it sounds cliche, but isn't that true? I mean, and then if you want to, let's forget all personal opinion, and let's just go off statistical data and look at how many of the brown and black belts are going for leg locks, even in the IBJJF style leagues, right? And then look at the most elite black belts, gi or no gi, in ADCC, right? Yeah. And they're not only going for leg locks, they're tapping out the highest level jiu-jitsu guys with leg locks as well. So, I mean, it is something that is part of the game at the highest level. And so, therefore, I mean, why wouldn't you want to make it your game? It's a part of the body, just like you said. And a lot of leg locks, in my opinion, come from the takedown. And so, people who, judo guys and wrestlers, that favor sambo guys, whatever kind of grappler you are, even if you're a regular Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, if you favor the leg locks more and favor takedowns more, when you throw a guy and you do it with a leg in your hand, you take a guy down with a leg in your hand, doesn't matter if it's a fireman's carry or if it's a single leg, you got a leg in your hand, you've got a sub ready to go. You don't just have to wait or always pass the guard. I mean, passing the guard, is that important? Yes. But you can go straight from a takedown into a submission. I mean, you can do the same with arm bars and chokes. It's just a different style is all it is. And I definitely believe that top dominant grapplers are easier to get leg locks, and there's also a lot of stuff on the bottom as well too. But I think that leg locks get a bad rap sometimes as well too. Everyone considers it diving when you start talking about going for leg locks. Why do we say it's diving for leg? If you're educated on the legs, then it's not diving. Just like this Kimura trap system. Got famous by David Avalon and Lloyd Irvin guys. I mean, the Kimura, the rolling Kimura and these attacks have been around for, as long as the Kimura's been around, but you've got a system to it. And if you understand that system, that Kimura trap system is very dangerous. But, I mean, I would consider that, diving for a Kimura, right? Or a rolling Kimura, jumping out of half guard and just dive rolling for a Kimura. But if you're educated on it and in the tap is that's the end all be all when it comes to the truth, right? If you're tapping people out with it, they can't argue that. So, it's definitely a point of where you're going to have, leg locks or, if people tap from it, they tap from it. And like you said, it's half the body. But you can talk about statistics, you can talk about personal opinion, and in the end, it really just breaks down to what a person likes. I think someone should know leg locks. And even like my most advanced students, I just had Levi Miles. He won the Springfield Open. We had a Super 8-man tournament this weekend in Springfield, Missouri, and he's a purple belt of mine. He defeated a purple and 2 brown belts with heel hooks, and he's not even a major leg locker. Our game plan actually going into it was these guys may attack your feet because they're starting to play with the feet at that purple and brown level. They start to play with it a lot more, but in the end, you train with a higher level leg locker, so you're going to have better defense. And then you'll be able to pass their guard and take their back and submit them. He's a rear naked choker. He's a guillotiner. He's not even a leg locker. But for the fact that he knows the leg locks from my school, he's able to defend them. But it didn't even turn out that way. The guys were playing footsie, and they played footsie wrong with them, so they got heel hooked. Either way, the point is you don't have to be a leg locker, but you should at least know it, right? I mean, you say that about other positions. You don't have to know or play De La Hiva, but you should at least know it. You're going to encounter it. Doesn't matter if it's your game or not. You know, Marcelo Garcia is not out there busting De La Hiva all the time, but, you know, but I bet you he knows it. You get what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
With that being said, let the people know what your DVD is called, and of course where they can get it.
Well, I have 2 places you can get it. I mean, it's called Leg Locks. I mean, it's just Leg Locks Attacking the Guard. It was a seminar I did at one of my affiliates, Justin Rose. He's a judo black belt, but he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt underneath me. He's in Arlington, Texas, and you know, I network with my guys. You know, we do iPhone applications and DVDs and whatnot. I did a leg lock seminar where we recorded it, and you know, it's a systematical approach to attacking the guard, starting from the stand up to the ground, to the guard pass, to you know, escapes, counters, all that good stuff. But it's just from one standpoint, and that's from attacking the guard. That's you know, I mean, you can only talk about so much in one seminar, right? So we just did it from that approach, but we also have counters and reversals and all that good stuff in there. So, and I'm going to continue to do it. I'm starting my Modern Grappling Fundamentals filming next week, and that's going to be a 3-part series of gi, no gi, and then universal, so that we can eventually spawn off from there in each category. Some people in my travels, you know, in my own personal grappling journey myself, you know, some people favor gi more, some people favor no gi more, and some people favor the universal aspect or self-defense or just being able to train or compete in both. So we can spawn off from those 3, you know. So that's what the Modern Grappling Fundamentals will be, that one that's coming out next. But right now it's Leg Locks Attacking the Guard, and Leg Locks Attacking the Guard, and Fade to Black, my Darce chokes, Peruvian necktie, Japanese necktie. That's all sold on budovideos.com. Of course, everyone in the jiu-jitsu industry should know Budo Videos and Budo Jake. And but my Leg Locks DVD is also sold on my website, brandonquick.com.
Let's talk a little bit about your past. How did you get into the sport of jiu-jitsu?
The sport of jiu-jitsu, I would say I got more involved with the sport as the sport grew. You know, when I was younger, as I tell my students now, you know, my dream was not to be a jiu-jitsu world champion. It wasn't to be Hoffa or, you know, Adolfo Vieira or something. I'm about to be 31 years old, and I started when I was a teenager under David Dunn. He's a Jean-Jacques Machado black belt, and you know, I've trained under 3 major Jean-Jacques Machado black belts, and it was really, back then, it was to learn how to fight. I was interested in kickboxing. I had the typical mentality of, hold on just one second. And so, the typical mentality of wanting to learn it is a martial art. You know, when most people step into a jiu-jitsu school, it's not just to become a sport competitor. It's to learn how. It's, you know, you're learning a martial art. You're learning, you know, self-defense or whatever the case may be. You know that you're going in there to learn how to fight. You're not going in there just for sports jiu-jitsu. You know, there may be some people who get involved in that now, but they certainly didn't in the 90s. You know, not in my neighborhood or who I was training with. You know, we were more interested in fighting. So I always carry that with me in my mentality, in my martial arts and in my training. I have guys that, you know, fought MMA underneath me, guys that fought in Bellator underneath me, you know, amateur by pro fights too. You know, we got guys that medal at no-gi Pan and Worlds and Pan Ams in the gi and no-gi. I have champions gi and no-gi IBJJF as well at Pans and Worlds. So medalists and champs. And so we just believe in all-around grappling, and we don't play to a particular game, to be honest. You know, if you come to my school, you can be a fighter, you can be a jiu-jitsu guy, or you could just do it. You know, most of my people in here, to be honest, are related. We're a mom and pop's place, to get real. We're not a place that's filled with 20-year-olds. we got a lot of, if there's 50 people on my mats right now, I can tell, if you're not related, get off my mats, and only 3 people are going to walk off the mats. Everyone here is related to somebody on these mats. So it's a family environment, and, we just like to grapple. That's honestly what it is.
Nice. Before we move on and talk about your upcoming tournaments and affiliates, I just want to go back to one more topic on the leg locks, because I don't get to talk to too many people that specialize in it, per se. And I'm wondering if it has improved your all-around jiu-jitsu, knowing the leg locks, knowing the defense, when to hit it, if it's improved your passing game and overall jiu-jitsu.
Oh, passing, that's something that I teach a lot about with the passing as well, too. I mean, it happens during the pass. It happens in different positions as you pass. It happens, if you turtle, they can get calf sliced real easy. If banana splits, to where if you're in half guard, not quite as far past, you've got all kinds of submissions, top and bottom half guard. You don't have as many in full. So your submissions for knee bars and leg locks in general get lower when they're in full guard. So as you start to pass, it opens up the game. And now, like you're, getting at there, I could tell is with the passing is people fear the feet, and so they may open up a little bit more than they should sometimes, or over defend, and therefore start to either give up the pass, or you could bait something into using it to dominate a position. Very much so. So you can use people's fear in their lack of knowledge in the leg locks to pass the guard as well too. Absolutely.
Nice. So, what is coming up for yourself and your team? What's coming up?
Well, for myself personally and my school, we just opened another affiliate in Casale Manfredo, Italy. I have guys in Sweden, Trinidad and Tobago, Texas. So we're definitely starting a good organization of training consistently, even though we're overseas from each other. For example, like March 4th to the 11th, or 4th to 10th, this March, I'm going back to Italy, BJJ training camp over there for a week. Guys will meet there, even from other schools in Italy, but we're constantly training, even though we're separated. We try and go overseas and train with them. The guys try and get here and train here. And, we train online. I actually do PS3 and Skype lessons on you can go to my website and see that. And, we're in communication that way. I give a lot of attention to my guys. And so, I don't think that some other major affiliations do as much. You just physically can't, And so, I don't have 20 bazillion affiliates, and I don't want to. I just want a solid set of guys that I can keep track of and keep the growth and, have fun traveling and doing what we do. As for my school, we train to go compete at all the major tournaments. We have guys that fight, and so, whatever's basically up next on that calendar year for my school, and, we try and attack those money tournaments. Like I was saying, Levi Miles just won that $500 at that tournament. We have $1,000 coming up at this next American Grappling Federation tournament, and that's a little bit separate than my own personal jiu-jitsu schools. I just started tournaments about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. But for my personal schools, I have 2 locations in Texas. One in Waxahachie, which is a little bit south of Dallas, and one in Cedar Hill, which is in actual South Dallas. And we train gi, no gi, and have always had wrestlers at my school. I believe in the takedown part of the game for my students as well. If I'm not the best super grappler in the world, at least I can make my students the best that I can. And we have great results. We're state champions in Texas 2010 and state champions in Oklahoma 2012, and we're making a run at both those state championships in 2013. So we just train hard, man, like any other school. I wouldn't consider us, super special compared to other schools. There's people out there with greater accomplishments. I just, we're just starting out, man, and I'm about 5 years into it, and we're getting guys medaling at the lower ranks and worlds and pans and fights, and we're doing good. We're just plugging away like anyone else. We're just plugging away. It's all you can do. You don't win the lottery in jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just kind of plug away at it, you know. And we all know that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so, you know, but I treat the business the same way, and you know, it continues to grow.
So
hold on
when
just
you
one second. Just hold on just one second. Just warm them up, have them do some functional warm-ups, do like arm triangle switching, X passing, single leg quickly. You know, I want the quick exercises because it's going to be a roll-a-thon for the tournaments this weekend. Okay? Guys, pay attention. Levi's going to warm you up. I'm on the phone with BJJ Addict Radio right now. He's going to warm you guys up, and then it's a roll-a-thon. We got a tournament on Saturday. You know this. You know the drill. Don't give an inch. Don't give a point. Nothing. Not tonight. This is not a play night. You guys follow me? All right, rock and roll. All right.
I like that. This is not a play night.
Well, I mean, you got to play.
Yeah,
you got to play. You know, you got to play, man. People who they get too serious, man. I've been around dudes who only compete. I've been around dudes who are only self-defense, and the dudes that only compete, man. I mean, you can actually, and I don't just mean compete, but train for competition. If you only train for competition, then you play to your strengths only.
That's right.
And you don't try and improve your weaknesses, and it really makes you for a lopsided grappler. I mean, I've even got my own students. You know, we're not perfect. We're all human. I've got guys that are, you know, you get a little bit of that ego. It's hard to get a guy, you know, stop doing the same exact thing or this habit. You know, it's hard to break some people of it, and it's part of being a coach and part of being any person that goes through any kind of things that's filled with lessons like jiu-jitsu, you know?
Absolutely. So when someone comes up to you and for Italy, for example, or you said Sweden, and they want to be affiliated specifically with you, how does that make you feel, and how do you respond to the situation to get them on a certain level that you don't mind them representing you? Like, how do you? Well,
I'm hands down, and I've been through other affiliations. And I know what the affiliation process is like, and now, especially as a black belt, I get shopped around. I mean, you would be amazed. It's something that's not talked about a ton. It's talked about behind the scenes a lot, but you would be amazed at the amount of people that contact instructors searching for affiliation.
Really?
You know? Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you know, anybody. You know, it doesn't matter if you're 10 Planet, Gracie, Ball Hog, Kung Fu, whatever. I mean, it's martial art. If you need to be connected to someone in order to get ranked or get better or whatever the case may be, you know, people are going to have to affiliate. And so if they're, you know, depends on if they don't like their local guy, you know, sometimes it's beef with their local guy, or it's like, you know, they just really like somebody's style. And then, to be honest, a lot of people do it just to attach to somebody's name. Now, I'm not a guy who's some 4-time world champion. I do make great champions at their levels, you know, that we have been at so far. You know, I haven't created any black belt world champions, but I'm trying to be on that path. Watch your head. You got that weight machine next to you on that single leg. I'm you know, plugging away, just like I was saying. So we have dudes that are winning at the best, highest level that they are at right now at the purple belt and blue belt level. They're coming on up and you know, starting to get black belts and brown belts that train with me. And the main thing for affiliation with me, dude, is you just got to train. I mean, you got to train. If you're not going to train with me, then what? Like, seriously, how do you even represent me? Because we have a certain flavor and style of our jiu-jitsu. You should be able to walk into my students' gyms, and they will know what I've taught them. They will know how to, you know, play the game in the way that I've instructed them. It doesn't mean that you have to do jiu-jitsu the way that I do jiu-jitsu. I'm just saying the instructors train the way that I train my guys. We do speed drilling. We do micro drills. You hear some of that talk out of Lloyd Irvin, you know, guys. You'll hear some of that. You know, we do a lot of those speed drills. You know, we just continuously train. That's what it is. I'm not just looking for money and that kind of stuff. You know, if they bring me over there, we have seminars. Typically when I go overseas as well too, I'm there for a week. I'm training these guys night and day. I'll get private lessons and we do seminars on the weekend. But in truth, man, I'm just pouring my heart out in the teaching. We're doing 2-hour classes at night, 2-hour classes during the day. You know, we go out at night on the weekend or whatever, but we're pretty much just training our butts off. And other guys aren't going to give them that, just to be honest. You know, like name a guy, you know, like, and it's no offense to anyone, but like, you know, say Cyborg or something. Cyborg doesn't have the ability like I do. He's a much higher profile, you know, to go training people for a week at a moment's notice. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing, you know. So like, you know, you can pick a guy if they're super busy, big name, constant competitor, you know, major organizations or whatever the case may be, you know, they don't really have the time and ability to pour their heart out into international students as much as I can. Local students for sure. You know, that's not to knock anyone. I shouldn't even have said any names, but I'm just trying to get a point across, though. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much just give my guys a lot of attention. Some of them I write out their curriculum. The guys in Italy, I write out their curriculum. The guys in Sweden, I mean, they just asked me today, hey, we need more drills from De La Hiva. Whether I'm going to link them or I'm going to send them private videos. I'll make a private video. I'll make some extra drills. Hey, try these out. Hey, my back's screwed up, coach. You know, I can't do this. Can you give me another way to pass, or can you give me another drill to do here, or whatever the case may be? You know, I'm going to go make a video, put a private video up, and send it to them. You know, I don't think that a lot of other guys have that time and desire and much attention for their students in their affiliations. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think is the hardest part being a coach or a business owner?
Oh man, I don't even really look at it like that. I absolutely love what I do. You know, I'm consumed with jiu-jitsu. You know, we run tournaments. My guys are trained. They're referees. They're table workers. You know, they help me there. You know, they know how to videotape. I try and teach them the business. You know, it's not like I just want my guys to be black belts. I think that's something that's not talked about enough. I mean, other people do, but you gotta teach someone the business. If you want someone to be successful in today's world, if he wants to run a school, or if he wants to you know, be a teacher in any form or anything like that, you've got to teach him. You know, you've got to teach him how to teach. I mean, you can hear right now in the background. There's a guy teaching. You know, I mean, he knows how to teach. I've taught him how to teach. These guys know how to make a living in the business as well too. I don't want guys to just, you know, get a black belt and the only thing they can get out of it is a private lesson. You know what I mean? Keep it down just a little bit. Keep it down just a little bit.
You spoke about your own tournament. Is that correct?
Yeah, I own the American Grappling Federation. We run tournaments all over Texas, Oklahoma, and now we're into Missouri as well too.
When's the next one coming out for people? And then when's the next one after that, in case they can't make this one?
Yeah, this one is going to be awesome, man. We've got a $1,000 team challenge. It's in Burleson, Texas, which is a suburb city south of Fort Worth. You know, Fort Worth and Dallas are right next to each other, and I don't believe so much so in the quote unquote Brazilian mindset of not Brazilian, but the Brazilian tournaments right now are just now coming up with the money for these bigger fights. I always believe always black belts should compete free. And there should be some kind of grappling super fight at the event. There should be some entertainment. I mean, Americans, we definitely believe in prize fighting. Not to say that the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu organizations right now don't. I mean, people are getting into it, but I believe that every event should be, and I believe that every black belt should compete free. I'm not going to have 30 black belts enter into a tournament and have the most amazing jiu-jitsu of the day and make them pay for it. And they've already earned their way all the way up to there. I don't know, maybe it's just a respect thing, but black belts don't compete at my tournaments, and we always have money fights. We got super fights, we've got super team challenges, and at this next one, the Winter Classic, this, like I was saying in Burleson, we have a $1,000 team challenge. It's 8 teams going against each other, 3-man teams under 190 pounds. It's going on DVD. I'd like to bring back some of the cheaper DVDs instead of $100+ DVDs. I'd like to bring back $10 and $15 DVDs like the old Grappler's Quest DVDs. You know, there's some great jiu-jitsu and some of that stuff. I mean, just unbelievable, man. I've got old videos of like Sim Go and Jeff Glover, just all kinds of great stuff, you know, and I'd like to bring that back. And you know, in this super team challenge that we have, you know, you've got Colton Smith, who just won the Ultimate Fighter show. You've got black belts. You've got actually got cyborg black belts, you know, like Albert Hughes and Tony Tipton, 2-time no-gi world champion J.D. Shelley, representing the Hobson Moore and North Dallas BJJ. I mean, you've got some great competitors in there, you know. And we've had Bruno Bastos from Novignao fight Tussa, Roberto Alencar from Gracie Baja, and you know, some great stuff. That was Nuwaza Fights that made Gracie Mag my first tournament, GracieMag.com. And so we're just plugging away with that, and I want guys to be able to pay rent off of tournaments. If they're at that level that they can compete in jiu-jitsu and give us that good of a show, I want them to be able to pay their rent, dude. And you know, I can't fully pay their rent right now, but I'd like to grow the tournaments big enough and quality enough that that guys can make some serious money at the super fights and know what to expect when they come to our tournaments. And our tournaments are also formatted like the IBJJF. I absolutely love the IBJJF's format with the division start times, the weigh-ins right away. There's no stress of cutting weight prior to the event and worrying about some guy being 20 pounds heavier than you when he comes in. You know, you go in comfortable, but it also has organized start times. You know, so you're going to know if you're going to compete at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock or whatever, or, you know, not know that you think you're going to compete at 1, but you don't end up competing until 9 p.m. It's insane at some of the major tournaments, bigger tournaments that just allow like day of registration and just the insanity of people all over the mats. And, you know, it could be a 12-hour day for some people. So we try and keep ours organized, easy on the family. You know, I mean, I've got a school, and I participate in my school in all kinds of tournaments. And so I think I'd be a hypocrite if I started tournaments and made them the way that I disagree with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically trying to, you know, do all aspects of the tournaments the best that I can. And my partner, Chris Carlino, he's a 4-stripe blue belt of mine. He's also the other end of the spectrum for me on killer apps. We've made the iPhone applications and Android applications for myself, Pete Wilhelm. Pete Wilhelm's on there as well too. He's on Submissions 101. It's got, you know, 50,000 hits type stuff on YouTube, whatever, you know. And he's got a De La Riva app. You know, we just try and network with other people, put other ideas out there, and try and share the wealth. I think some people just try and sit on top like King Kong a little bit too much. And I think it takes money to make money, and other people have other styles and opinions, and that sells too. And, you know, that's what I mean about trying to help other people out in business and network. You know, I do that with my affiliates. I do that with my tournaments, and I do that with my super fighters. I do it with my iPhone applications, and we just try and stay positive, surround ourselves with positive people, get rid of the negativity. There could be a lot of negativity in some of the fight industry, you know. That goes without saying, you know, but so we just try and stay positive and keep plugging away. So that's, anyways, I know I rambled off on that, but January 26th, Burleson, Texas is the Winter Classic. AmericanGrapplingFederation.com is where you can check that stuff out at. The next one that we're going to have we just came from Springfield last weekend at the Springfield Open, Missouri, and then this weekend is Burleson, Texas, the Winter Classic. We're going to take February off because I have some seminars down in San Antonio and stuff, and then to Italy in the first week of March. I come back, and that next weekend we have the Oklahoma State Championships that we run, and we're doing it in Tulsa this time. Last time we did it in Oklahoma City. And so we have that one March 16th. We have another $1,000 team challenge there, geese and gear for second and third place. Now, with these team challenges that I'm talking about, check this out, man. These team challenges, I hope some people hear this and they listen to this, man. There's a team challenge that we're doing in Dallas, Burleson, we're calling it DFW for advertising purposes. You say Dallas because people recognize it instead of the suburb. But Dallas, Tulsa, and then the next one, like April, is going to be Houston. And after Houston, you're going to have the winners of the top three placers, not just the winners, first, second, third, from Tulsa, Houston, and Dallas come back this summer to fight each other for $3,000 apiece, live streamed. All events that we're doing, or the super challenges, are going on DVD. People can go now seek sponsorships and go get some more money from their sponsors. You know, do whatever the heck you can on your own hustle. You know, but we're going to have it live streamed. They'll fight for $3,000 apiece, and we're going to go for the top guys going against each other at Southern Regionals. We've had Southern Regionals before. And, we don't consider ourselves we haven't pushed ourselves to a national event yet. We've only expanded into a few different states. But, you have some serious competitors in there, man, from Matt Larson's Combat Fitness to Fight Sports, Gracie Baja, Novinia. You got some big name dudes, Hanato Tavares. You got a lot of associations and big schools that are hunting for that fame. The other positive thing is the January 26th event will be our first event covered by Jiu-Jitsu Magazine. So our photos and results and advertising will now be in Jiu-Jitsu magazine, and we're just going to keep plugging away. So that'll be coming out in the April issue with the new event dates and the results from this team challenge that we'll have in January.
Yeah, saying keep us in the loop and what we could do on Facebook or whatnot. Just get the word out again about some of the stuff you're doing. Also, we're talking, and I talk to a lot of people. We think jiu-jitsu, Cali, of course, in America, we think number one. Florida has a huge scene, and New York's blossoming. But you're telling me that Texas is right up there, correct?
I wouldn't say right up there. Texas is second to California, in my opinion. First of all, I'm from California. I started jiu-jitsu in California, and I've lived in Texas for the last 5 years. And, I run tournaments here. I go back to California probably 4 or 5 times a year. I train out there. I'll compete out there. I'll coach out there. And you go back and forth. And I'm in the industry as well, too. Now, New York is never going to be bigger than Texas, just for the sheer fact of population density. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just density, but we have more bigger cities. We have more population, more land space. You know what I'm saying? But you've got some major guys. I just rattle off some dudes in DFW alone. You've got multiple time world champions. You got even right next to Texas in Oklahoma City. You got Lovato. You've got Draculino down in Houston, and of course when it all first started with and the Gracies and Machados came to this country. A lot of them went to SoCal, and you had Henzo go to New York. But you have Carlos Machado, who's out here in Dallas, and started a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys out here. They may be under different affiliations now or whatnot, but there's a lot of dudes that came underneath Carlos Machado out here, and he spawned it a long time ago, just like Hegan and John Jock, spawned it and helped spawn it in California. Carlos was out here doing his thing a long time ago, so it sprouted out here a long time ago, and you got a lot of good hard workers, and man, you got some serious scenes out. That's why we have 2 IBJJFs a year here, and now it's 2-day events. You got one in Dallas and one in Houston.
So people going on a North American trip we're from Canada, by the way. We always like to go down to the States and do some jiu-jitsu. Texas never pops up in my head for some odd reason. So you think this is one of the best spots to go practice the art? Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, even you look on Access TV, Access TV, formerly HDNet, and you've got HDNet fights and Legacy fights. I mean, that's an MMA organization that's really growing well and getting popularity out here as well too. You definitely the jiu-jitsu scene, man. I mean, you've got some solid dudes out here. I mean, name a city, it doesn't matter what city it is. I can tell you top name dudes, and then also dudes that don't have the biggest name in the world, but because I know the Texas scene, I mean, they're phenomenal grapplers, guys that I would hire to have seminars at my own school. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, do some more research, dude. Texas is definitely making waves, man. Definitely making waves.
Nice. Who are some of your influence as far as people you love to watch compete in this sport?
Influences and who to watch. Influences, I would definitely say my first instructor, for sure, John Jock Machado. John Jock, to me, is like a jiu-jitsu god. I mean, he can just blow my mind. Watching him on some of the things that he does is just amazing. Eddie Bravo influenced my game a lot. I probably use the calf slicer and truck every day. I mean, even my teenagers, they're banana splitting people. A lot of people don't even realize at 13 years old you can do the banana splits in the IBJJF. Of course, all my kids that are 12 and up know it, so they can start hitting it at 13. It's a basic wrestling move. I don't use much of the rubber guard, and definitely don't use any lockdown anymore, but I do a lot of the truck action. My instructor gave me my black belt, Jamie Walsh. I mean, he's got a phenomenal head and arm game. He's not a famous guy. He's placed at some national tournaments, but nothing super duper. Has fought MMA. I think choked out Joe Camacho's last fight, something like that. He's an excellent head and arm guy. Even on my DVD on my Fade to Black DVD of a head and arm choke that I called a Walsh choke. And I named a lot of those different things, different names, just because at that time I was 10th Planet, we were just naming every technique as different technique. But in reality, to me, they're all just Walsh chokes. They're all head and arm type chokes, and the reverse arm triangle, all that kind of stuff. I got that from Jamie Walsh, and so that was definitely an influence, of course. In terms of watching people that I study, that I like, not just competitors, but Gokor Chivichian. Obviously Sambo, the highest done grappling system. They've got some phenomenal techniques. I've trained with Riley Bodycomb from the American Sambo Association. Phenomenal, strategic, systematic leg lock approach, different than the typical guys, and that was my mindset. I have a systematic approach. I don't have a diving, mentality type approach, and so I really like the guys from the American Sambo Association. But my niche, my growth, my business, my students, my tournaments is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For influence in not just influence, but watching wise, oh man, watching you're definitely all the big names. I like to watch Jiu-Jitsu all day long. I'm a tournament guy. I can watch 200 matches a day at a tournament. I can learn stuff from a yellow belt. If you watch 100 matches all day, you're gonna learn some amazing. You're also gonna learn how some people are taught very, very poorly. So you get the opposite side of the spectrum. But so I learn from anybody. From anybody. I got an orange belt female that goes to a Girls and Geese seminar with Michelle Nicolini. I'm going to say, what'd you learn, girl? Come on, I hope you teach me something. I'll learn from anybody. I do definitely like watching, though. I like to watch killers, period. I don't like to watch stallers. I don't think anybody does. That's why I don't have black belt rounds for 10 minutes in my tournaments. They're 6 minutes, action-paced, one warning for stalling, and then you're getting penalized. I like killers. Of course, Marcelo Garcia, Hobson Mora. I've been to several of his seminars. I think he's one of the best teachers, and his jiu-jitsu mind is just amazing. I love to watch Adolfo Vieira. And you know what, dude? I've always been a fan since I started hearing about him about Keenan Cornelius from Lloyd Irvin. Man, I just sat down today and actually watched all 5 matches that Budo Videos posted about his at Nogi Worlds. I became a massive fan today. Like I don't have all the time in the world to study every single person, so when I can. Man, and that was just entertaining. Entertainment is what I like. That's why I like guys like Jeff Glover, Bill Cooper. They're gonna try and tap you. They're going to try and tap. You know that. They're going to try. You feel in danger. John, you're in danger at all times. Dean Lister, I love Dean Lister. Dean Lister, the next quarter, I would like to bring in a couple major dudes like that. I would love to bring in Dean Lister, for sure.
Boogeyman.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's why you get that. When you roll with someone like that you're scared of getting tapped by, you're in constant danger from someone like that.
Can you name at least 3
fear of someone? You're gonna get tapped. You're not worried about him passing your guard and stalling. You're worried about your limbs and your neck, and that's the kind of jiu-jitsu that I try to teach, and that's the kind of jiu-jitsu that we win with. My guy that won that $500 Super 8 man, he didn't win it by stalling his way to victory. It's because he was tapping dudes, and there's a definitive winner in that as well too. It's just like striking. No one wants to watch 12 rounds of boxing. They want to see a knockout. They'd like to see 3 or 4 rounds. That's cool. And then we want to see someone get knocked out. Nobody watches NASCAR and wants them to go around the circle the whole time. You're going to eventually want to see a car wreck, right? That's what everyone's thinking about when they're watching it. It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. You want a definitive winner. You want someone to tap. And that's the purpose of it. Everything that we do in the sport is awarded for what we should do in a fight, right? You don't want to be on your back. So the points that are awarded are takedown. They're all top dominant points. Takedown, pass on the guard, mount, knee on belly, and when they turn away and you take their back, they're all top dominant type positions, and they're very dominant in where you want to be in a fight. And even in a sweep in a jiu-jitsu match, the purpose for the awarding of points is when you went from bottom to top. So if you want to say all points in traditional BJJ is to be on top, it's awarding you for where you'd want to be in a fight. Can we fight from our back? Of course we can. That's what makes jiu-jitsu famous more than anyone else. But, you know, the fighting mentality of trying to submit people is what it's got to really be the core of what your jiu-jitsu is. So it's not just the points or passing the guard. It's trying to tap people, you know. But the only negative part I find is when people get too far on that. You know, I've taught seminars in, man, like 30 states and 8 countries, you know. I've seen some people that are too submission-orientated, and they couldn't pass a guard to save their life. And, you know, so you can't. I don't think you should be lopsided in any way in the grappling game, but I definitely think that you should be a submission hunter, and that's what people want to see. And then definitely, if you want to be a prize fighter, if you want to have people pay you to fight, you better be a submission hunter, right? I mean, are you going to pay a guy that you know is going to stall his way to victory or be a slow fighter? Right? Flip the script, right? You put it in BJJ Addict Radio's hands. You got 2 guys that are going to do a super fight. You're going to pick 2 stallers. You're going to pick 2 dudes you know that there's going to be a tap in. You know what I'm saying?
Want the tap?
Yeah, it's all in the tap, right? I mean, that's all it is. So, you know, that's who I definitely am influenced by, and that's who I like to watch. People who submit people, you know? And it's coming out more, dude. It's coming out more. That's why you got the Meta Morris, and you got the and I got a 190-pound guy doing a flying guillotine on a 300-pounder just now. But you know, that's why you got these submission-only tournaments, and Lloyd Irvin doing his kumite and all that. Like, forget that. Let's tap each other. That's what it's about. It's not about stalling your way for 9 minutes and 30 seconds and then diving for a toe hold to get an advantage in the last 30 seconds to win a match. That's you know, and that's why people are going, hey, dude, jiu-jitsu's not going to make it to television if it stays this boring in some areas. You know, there's going to be stalling no matter what, but, you know, if the rules were adjusted slightly, I definitely think it would be a much more exciting sport. And also, we would become more well-rounded. Can you imagine if we outlawed guard pulling? If we made it, if it was like Abu Dhabi? And you got penalized for pulling guard? I mean, the points in a tournament award you for getting off of your back, right? And for being on top and advancing your position on top. So, you know, if we both pull guard and I come up first, I get an advantage, right? Or if I take you down, or let's say I don't even take you down. If you just stand in front of me, you sit down, and I stay standing, and I come over you, you just conceded the bottom position. I'm going to get 2 points. You know what I'm saying? So according to that mentality, I should get 2 points if you pull guard.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? According to that mentality, according to the traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rules, according to that their own mentality, you should be penalized for pulling guard. But for some reason, it's legal. But and in truth, I think it's the core of it, it's the root of it, and it's not a martial art in the sense of the military. You know, you look at Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Sambo, you know, even Taekwondo, Karate, they were military arts. That we are here to kill people right away. Well, in Jiu-Jitsu, you have a subculture and you have a lifestyle and you have guard pulling, you know, but the difference is you know, in Sambo, it's harder to have a 40-year career in Sambo or Judo. You know, your knees get nailed. Guys aren't going to, you know, if I have a 60-year-old guy to come into my class, he's going to be able to do class. If you have a 60-year-old guy come in and he's going to learn 50 throws, you might not see that dude tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So there's more longevity, I believe, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it wasn't a military art with the mind to submit somebody as fast as possible. In you know, I mean, look at the old fight to Helio Gracie, a 3-hour fight. Come on, dude. I can't be in a fight in the middle of the country for, you know, 2 minutes without somebody noticing. You know, there's no such thing as a 30-minute fight. There's no such thing. That's entertainment. Yeah. That's not realistic. There's no 30-minute fights and 20-minute fights. I'm ex-military too, dude. You're gonna handcuff somebody, you got 30 seconds to a minute of adrenaline. You know, I'm a defensive tactics instructor for 2 local police departments. You know, we're not talking about 20-minute engagements. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's the mentality of it. But, you know, there's a benefit to obviously having that mentality. You know, it's the yin and yang of the grappling arts. You know what I mean? You have guys that are going to be more top dominant, period. And you have guys, you know, you could be wrestling. You're going to have different styles of wrestlers. You're going to have different styles of wrestlers with different regions, different schools, different instructors. You know, not all of wrestling is going to be the same. Guys are going to like to cradle more, and other guys are going to like to, whatever. So it's like it's still going to come to preference. But I think that the reason that it's like that is there's no military mentality where it started.
That makes sense. Before we let you go, I want to know what makes you stick around the sport. Like, what keeps you going? What gets you out of bed every day? And maybe you'll spark something inside somebody that they could kind of see that they're going down the right path with choosing BJJ.
Well, for sure. I mean, you got to do what you love. And I believe in that. But also, you have to treat your business like a business and not like a hobby. You've got to. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad a long time ago, and I read about multiple streams of income. So keeping me motivated is one, that's how I feed my children and pay rent. This is what I do for a living. This is not what I do as a hobby. And but definitely what keeps me going in the sport is the love of for the sport itself. Actually, the actual Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu itself, it's evolving. That's what I like about it, is it evolves. I mean, if you look at it technically, there's only 6 strikes in boxing, right? And so the striking arts, in my opinion, they can always evolve. They can, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that they're a little bit more, especially even the martial arts they're striking arts. With the katas and forms, there's kind of like an end to each rank. There's kind of like an end to, each level or whatnot. You know what I mean? To where in jiu-jitsu, it's just constantly evolving. I mean, just look at half guard in the last 10 years. It's tornado guard to, just everything. It's amazing. So that keeps me interested mentally. And then, I enjoy doing the tournaments. I enjoy having like I said, I got tons of students here that are related, man. We're all family. A lot of people say that and talk like that, but I've had kids, man, that their parents didn't, they were troubled youth or whatnot. Their parents didn't care. Me and one of my first blue belts, Dan Hunt, he's now a purple belt and lives down in El Paso, but we were the only ones to go to one of my students, Ben Ballard's high school graduation. His own mom lived 2 blocks from the gym, didn't go to his high school graduation. Was going to join the military. We're in combat time, man. It's not time to join the military, in my opinion, especially being ex-military. I said, man, I'll get you a job. We'll get you a place to live, whatever, just give me 1 year as a man outside of high school working. If it still doesn't work out for you, go ahead and join the military. Just give me 1 year, son. Now this dude, now he's making 6 figures a year. He's in the car sales and industry for marketing. I furnished his first apartment. He's moved up 3 levels of moving on up that ladder of apartments. He's the single guy. He's now 21 years old. I mean, those are our motto at our gym is Jiu-Jitsu changed my life. Edwin Lipsy is a 42-year-old pastor who started with me 4 years ago. He's a gi and no gi Pan American champion. He's a purple belt, and he's a pastor of a congregation of 500 people. I mean, we have all walks of life. But, he came to me at 226 pounds and, now competes at 160. So the healthy lifestyle, the energy and the workout is part of it, of course. But, it changes people's lives another way. I think that's part of the jiu-jitsu that some people don't really understand. That it's hard to place. It's hard to put a name on it and describe it. But, jiu-jitsu does truly change you in other ways if you're in it for the long haul.
Quick question. What was the book that you read that you just named?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Perfect. Well, Brandon, that's the time we have for today. I want to thank you very much for, giving us insight to what you do, for your source of income and also your passion. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And remember to always hit us up at our Facebook. Keep us in the loop so we can tell the people about your upcoming tournaments. And
for sure, man. One, I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. This kind of stuff doesn't happen unless somebody does it, and speaks up and says, hey, we'd like to have an interview. The appreciation goes both ways. and so does networking, man. Anything that I can do and help out, you know, you and I are already on Facebook together. Just stay in contact, man, and you know, stay working together, and positivity begets positivity, man.
Sure.
I agree. So once again, thank you, and we'll keep in touch for sure.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye.
Jer?
Hello.
So, that was nice.
Informative.
Yeah, man. He's good dude. Good dude. So, next week, remember we have Bruno Amaro.
Bruno Amaro.
Thank you. I apologize. I'm just butchering people's names. One day I'll get it right, but it won't be funny, you know?
No.
It's not as fun to just say their names properly. But I piss off a lot of people, I think. Remember that episode we had that we were talking about the fight for charity in Montreal?
Yeah.
And I think it was like Damon.
Oh, yeah. We never figured out.
I got hit up on Facebook, and the guy who runs the tournament was laughing his ass off. He said him and David were talking about it the next day, just kind of making fun of his last name
What
after that. I can't pronounce it over typing on Facebook, so
It's like Guigui.
yeah. So you know, yeah, they're having a good laugh about that. So you know, so be it. It's kind of funny. I just hope dude doesn't punch me in the face when he sees me in MTL. You know,
Jump guard.
yeah. If he jumps guard, maybe we'll take 2 points away from him. So that's all for today's episode. Remember last week we had you know, our boy Marcos Terragrosa on, and we also had you know, pro wrestler Mo from Man on a Mission. So if you didn't catch that, you need to catch it, because I have an epic WWF flashback to the 80s, 90s talk. Macho Man, Randy Savage, Hogan, Ric Flair, you know, all the greats of that sport entertainment industry. So catch last week's, and you know, tune in next week. And obviously, if you weren't listening to this, you should have been, bitches. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you want to tell the people anything, Jared?
I love you all. And
that was awesome. I wasn't expecting to say that. I was waiting for a big hang tight, dude.
all right, dudes, you know the drill. Hang tight.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Facebook me and stuff.
BJJ Radio, FightFans Radio.
Instagram.
We're taking over. Now I'm sounding like DJ Khaled.
Send me emails. I like emails.
Hit the drums.